The ecchi genre stands out for its racy fan service without resorting to explicit pornography, mixing eroticism with humor and often with supernatural, or harem element. Below is a selection of 10 iconic manga, both classic and modern, whose value within ecchi is based on their artistic style, narrative creativity, and the way they integrate fan service with character development. For each title, we include the author, years of publication, synopsis, main characters, and what makes it stand out within the genre. Manga by Hiroji Mishima, based on the novel by Ichiai Ishibumi, that was published from July 2010 to February 2019. The original novel series ran from 2008 to 2018. It follows Issei Hyodo, a perverted high school student who is killed by a fallen angel and then resurrected by Rias Gremory, a high-ranking demon student. Rias makes him her demon servant, thus beginning adventures where they fight supernatural creatures while Issei serves under Rias at Ko Academy. The plot combines romantic comedy, action, and eroticism. Issei Hyodo, the protagonist turned demon loyal to Rias Gremory, crimson-haired demon heiress, Asia Argento, a former priestess turned demon and friend of Issei, and Akino Himejima, Rias' demon friend with a dual temperament. Also appearing are members of the school's supernatural council and various fallen angels. School DxD is famous for its unrestrained fan service focused on the female protagonist, especially their highlight, and for its mix of supernatural action with sexual comedy. The author deliberately turned Issei into a libidinous boy to enhance the ecchi humor. This combination of demonic magic fights and comical harem situations has made it a benchmark of the genre. In addition, the narrative explores the growth of the characters. Issei learns to use powers such as the balance breaker, while always maintaining a good dose of sensual scene. Manga written by Saki Hazemi and illustrated by Kentaro Yabuki. Originally published from April 2006 to August 2009, 18 volume, with an ecchi sequel called To Love Ru Darkness that continued until 2017. It is about Rito Yuki, a shy high school boy who is in love with Haruna Serenji, who one day finds Lala Sadalin Devilu, a naked alien princess who is fleeing her planet. Lala decides to marry Rito in order to stay on Earth, unleashing a series of comical entanglements. Rito finds himself embroiled in chaotic harem situations when Lala and other girls, e.g., Yuiko Tegawa, Run/Rin, Saki Tenjoin, and the alien assassin Golden Darkness, fall in love with him or compete for his affection. Rito Yuki, a kind-hearted but clumsy protagonist, Haruna Serenji, his lifelong platonic love, Lala Deviluk, a sweet and energetic alien princess, as well as the other residents of the academy such as Yuiko Tegawa, Run/Rin, a ninja sister with two personalities, Saki Tenjoin, and the angelic Golden Darkness and Nemesis. To Love Ru is famous for its fan service and extreme ecchi situation. The authors themselves admitted that they tried to test the limits of what is allowed in a shonen manga with this fan service. Despite being a typical romantic harem, it stands out for its sci-fi, alien twists, the absurd humor of its accidental nudity, and the kaching moments, jokes based on physical accidents involving the girl. Its attractive art style and scenes of erotic moving tension, before becoming comical, place it as an influential classic within ecchi. Series written and illustrated by Okedu, published from March 2012 to the present, at least 20 volumes as of 2017. In a world where the Japanese government has revealed the existence of mythical humanoid creatures, liminal being, the protagonist Kimihito Kurusu unwittingly finds himself hosting Maya, a lamia, half-woman, half-snake, who mistakenly arrives at his doorstep under an interspecies exchange program. Kimihito decides to let her live with him, and soon other liminal girls join him. Poppy, a harpy, Centauria, centaur, Sue, a slime creature, Maroun, a mermaid, Ragnara, a humanoid spider, among others. Thus, Kimihito's daily life becomes a series of chaotic cohabitations where he must help these monster girls adapt to the human world while dealing with their constant affectionate advances. Kimihito Kurusu, an ordinary young man with a good heart, Maya, the lamia at the center of the story, Poppy the free-spirited harpy, Centauria, Syria the proud centaur, Sue the mute slime, Maroun the refined mermaid, and Ragnara the sarcastic arachnid, as well as exchange assistant Kuriko Smith, who places these creatures in Kimihito's care. Monster Musume stands out for its original premise, a government program that openly integrates mythological creatures into society as exchange students. This unique context allows for a wide range of character designs and highly creative fan service situations, e.g., fights in bathtubs or cultural mixing. The art, with its comical and whimsical tone, emphasizes the diversity of fan service, from lamias to harpies, making it an iconic example of the monster girls subgenre. Its combination of romantic comedy and ingenious eroticism, along with the idea of forced coexistence between humans and mythological creatures, gives it value within the ecchi genre. Manga written and illustrated by Akira Hiramoto, serialized between February 2011 and December 2017. 28 volume. The plot takes place at Hakumitsu Academy, a former girls-only boarding school that has just admitted boys. The only 5 boys on campus, Kiyoshi, Gakuto, Shingo, Joe, and Andre, are caught peeping in the girls' bathroom. As punishment, the ruthless underground student council, chaired by Mari Kurihara, sentences them to spend a month in the school's prison section or be expelled. The group accepts the sentence and is transferred to the school prison, where the ruthless Mari, Miko Shiraki, and Hana Midorikawa, vice president and secretary of the council, torment them with sadomasochistic torture. The story chronicles how these perverted teenagers survive each day under the brutal rules of the boarding school while trying to cheat their way back to normal life. The 5 male students imprisoned are Kiyoshi Fujino, the narrator, romantic and naive Takahito Gakuto, Morikuzu, nerdy history buff, Shingo Wakamoto, Joji Jo Nizu, and Reiji Andre Endo. On the other side are the sharp-tongued Mari Kurihara, student council president, Miko Shiraki, vice president with a sadistic streak, and Hana Midorikawa, the kidnapping secretary of the council. Prison School is famous for taking ecchi to absurd extreme. It combines grotesque humor with explicit fan service in a parodic tone. The scenes of punishment and sexual suspense are brutal but narrated comically. The manga won the 2013 Kodansha Manga Award in the general category, highlighting its success. Its unabashed portrayal of perverse fantasies, masochistic boys and dominant girls, and caricatured reactions make this manga an ecchi milestone. It breaks the mold by mixing exaggerated eroticism with social criticism of the school's system. In addition, the character development, such as the conflictive relationship with Hana that hides genuine feeling, adds depth amid the madness. Created by Tadahiro Miura, it was published in Weekly Shonen Jump from February 2016 to December 2020, 24 volume. The story follows Kagurashi Fuyuzora, an exorcist student with the peculiar power of expelling spirits with his fists. Homeless and penniless, Kagurashi agrees to live in Yuragi, an old abandoned hot spring inn, for almost no rent. There, he discovers that he must rid the place of a ghost that inhabits it. However, when he meets Yuna, the main ghost, he is surprised to find her charming and playful. Kagurashi then decides to stay for free and live with Yuna, the innkeeper, and 3 young mediums who also inhabit the place. This situation creates a typical involuntary harem. Each girl, such as Yuna, the ghostly owner, Sajiri, the tsundere ninja schoolgirl, Yaya, the girl with the soul of a cat, etc., develops feelings for him. At the same time, Kagurashi helps Yuna resolve her unfinished business beyond the earthly plane. Kagurashi Fuyuzora, the big-hearted exorcist protagonist, Yuna, the adorable ghost who welcomes him, Sajiri Amino, Kagurashi's tsundere kunoichi childhood friend, Yaya Fushiguro, a young girl possessed by a cat spirit, as well as other tenants and the landlady of the inn. This manga combines absurd humor with classic ecchi fan service. For example, there is frequent use of the gag where a girl accidentally ends up naked and the protagonist accidentally touches her. The erotic scenes are suggestive but not explicit. The steam from the hot springs serves to censor private parts. The tone is comical and respectful, focusing on innocent misunderstanding. It also mixes supernatural elements, ghosts, exorcisms, with romance. Its style stands out because the setting in a haunted ryokan allows for many original fan service situations: hot springs, onsen, playful spirits, in an atmosphere typical of a comical harem. Manga by Baodaidama, published in Young Magazine from December 2005 to September 2021, 25 volume. Kiss Time Sis focuses on Keita Sumino, a high school boy who lives in a blended family with his 2 older twin stepsisters, Akeo and Riko. Both stepsisters, now high school students, have developed more than brotherly feelings for him since childhood. Keita tries to keep his behavior moderate, but both Akeo and Riko openly flirt and try to seduce him with comical and provocative scenes. Each chapter usually revolves around an embarrassing accident, typical of ecchi, or a plan by the sisters to make him lose his composure. Despite the ecchi content, the plot includes elements of sincere romance and family dynamic. Keita Sumino, average protagonist; Akeo Sumino, smiling, perverted older stepsister; Riko Sumino, twin stepsister, more serious but equally interested in Keita. His father, stepmother, and other classmates appear in secondary roles, but the focus is on the central trio. Kiss Time Sis is notorious for openly addressing the taboo of stepsisters desiring their half-brother, taking incestuous fanservice to comical extreme. The manga stands out for its erotic scenes centered on such family fantasy. Its humor involves playful dialogue and many accidental touch situations where the twins try to sexually provoke him. Thanks to this, it has become a classic romantic ecchi title, famous for its mischievous but never vulgar tone. It always maintains a touch of innocence in the protagonist, which enhances the contrast between the sister's desire and his reserved behavior. Manga written by Daisuke Sato and illustrated by Shoji Sato, serialized between August 2006 and April 2013. 7-volume, unfinished. The series takes place during a zombie apocalypse, when a deadly virus infects the city, turning people into the living dead. A group of high school students, including Takashi Komuro, Rei Miyamoto, Saya Takagi, Kota Hirano, and nurse Shizuka Murikawa, find themselves trapped inside their school. They must fight to survive as the world collapses around them. As they escape to other areas, they face hordes of zombies and dangerous groups of humans, all amid tense and violent scenes. Takashi Komuro, brave leader, Rei Miyamoto, Takashi's childhood friend and sports expert, Saya Takagi, intelligent and strategist of the group, Kota Hirano, otaku weapons expert, and Shizuka Murikawa, the voluptuous school nurse. Each brings different skills to the group. Although it is mainly action and horror, Highschool of the Dead is also among the ecchi highlights for its constant use of fan service. The female survivors appear in torn clothes and miniskirts in high-tension scenes, and the comic takes its time showing attractive female bodies even in battle sequences. It stands out for its unabashed blending of zombie violence with scenes of sexual tension. For example, detailing the girls' sensual reactions when devouring food or their carelessness when using weapons. This fusion of gore and visual eroticism made it a memorable manga in the ecchi apocalyptic subgenre, showing that fanservice can coexist with harder genre. Series written by Yuto Tsukuda and illustrated by Shun Seki, published from November 2012 to August 2019, 36 volumes. The story follows Soma Yukihira, a young aspiring chef who works with his father in a modest family restaurant. When his father closes the restaurant to travel the world, Soma enrolls in the demanding Tatsuki Culinary Academy, an elite culinary school where students participate in cooking duels called Shokugeki, with stipulation. There, Soma competes to prove his culinary skills against other brilliant students, including the elitist daughter of the director, Irina Nakiri. Each challenge is narrated with intensity. The dishes prepared provoke exaggerated reactions, foodgasm, in those who taste them. Soma Yukihira, creative and persevering protagonist, Irina Nakiri, the talented goddess of taste. With a hypersensitive palate, Megumi Tadakoro, Soma's roommate and kind-hearted friend, Takumi Aldini, young Italian rival chef, and the members of the Tatsuki Council of 10 Cooking Masters. Although it is a cooking manga, Food Wars also qualifies as ecchi due to its famous use of sensuality around food. Each exaggerated reaction to a dish is illustrated with food spilling suggestively, discarded clothing, or characters in voluptuous poses. The manga has received praise for its exciting narrative and real recipes, but within ecchi, it is valued for its ingenious way of associating gastronomic pleasure with symbolic sexual pleasure. It also stands out for giving depth to the characters, both competitors and teachers, and for innovating in fan service. Instead of focusing only on nudity, it employs culinary eroticism. This combination makes it very influential and popular both within and outside the genre. Manga by Sue Minazuki, published from March 2007 to January 2014, 20 volumes. The protagonist is Tomoki Sakurai, a perverted teenager whose motto is peace and quiet. One day, he witnesses an anomaly in the sky and a strange winged being falls near him. This being is Ikaros, an angelid, a winged android, sent from a celestial world called Synapse. Ikaros soon declares herself Tomoki's servant, chaining herself to him as her master. From that moment on, other angelic beings called angelids arrive on Earth on various missions. Tomoki then loses his long-awaited peace, facing comical and erotic situations as he tries to help the angelids, such as Nymph and Astrea, understand human life. At the same time, he fights against the forces of Synapse who want to recover them. Tomoki Sakurai, a good-natured protagonist but with strong perverted instincts. Ikaros, the main angelids, slow-moving and very innocent. Sohara Mitsuki, Tomoki's neighbor and childhood friend who hits him at the slightest hint of perversion. Aishiro Sagata, leader of the Discovery Club, lover of mad science. And Mikako Satsukitane, student council president and cerebral rival. This manga combines ecchi comedy with elements of fantasy and sci-fi. Its hook is the presence of the Angela, beautiful supernatural women whose servile relationship with Tomoki constantly generates sexual humor. For example, Ikaros and her companions often, accidentally, undress or strike suggestive poses, always justified within the plot, either due to faulty programming or special powers. Sora no Otoshimono stood out for depicting angelic girls in erotic scenes without falling into vulgarity. Often the comedy arises from Ikaros' naivety in the face of female body. Ultimately, its peculiar mix of fantastical fanservice, fallen angel, with values of friendship and sacrifice makes it memorable within the ecchi genre. Manga by Ken Akamatsu. Published in Weekly Shonen Magazine between October 1998 and October 2001, 14 volume. It revolves around Kitaro Urashima, a young student who promised to marry a childhood friend if they both managed to get into the prestigious University of Tokyo. After failing his exams several times, Kitaro ends up as the manager of Yuragi Inn, a student residence run by his grandmother and inhabited almost exclusively by girls, including Nara Segawa, Motoko Aoyama, Shinobu Maihara, Mitsune, Kitsune, Kano, and the young Musume Otoheim. Every day, Kitaro must deal with the tenants and their accidental romantic encounters, hot springs, compromising slips, embarrassing misunderstanding, while pursuing his goal of entering university. The story balances school romance with comical harem situation. Kitaro Urashima, the clumsy but kind-hearted protagonist, Nara Segawa, intelligent, temperamental girl and first romantic interest, Shinobu Maihara, shy and sweet student, Motoko Oyama, tsundere samurai spirit, and Mitsune Kano, the mischievous fox, among other tenants of the inn. Love Hina is a foundational classic of the comedic harem genre that mixes romance and light fanservice. Although less explicit than more recent titles, it introduced many tropes of the genre: accidental falls, underwear mishaps, hot spring, and humorous punchlines after sexual misunderstanding. Its influence on ecchi lies in popularizing the format of boys living with several girls with affectionate humor, and in maintaining a respectful tone. Suggestive scenes are justified by the plot. For example, the use of the onsen to create comical situation. Love Hina helped bring this type of story to Western audiences, and is still recognized for its balance between romantic comedy and typical ecchi scenes of innocent touching. Each of these manga offers a different take on ecchi, from supernatural battles with fanservice, Highschool DxD, Hot D, to romantic harem comedies, to Love-ru, Love Hina, Yuragi, as well as unique approaches such as Monster Girls, Monster Musume, or extreme absurdity, Prison School. Overall, their success is due to combining entertaining narratives with an attractive drawing style and creative fanservice.